Hello and welcome back to the Spiritual Shitshow. My name is Julie Wynn, and this podcast is an incredible share from my heart with the hopes and the intention to inspire you wherever you are in the journey. I have been lucky enough to have gone through my own dark night of the soul, or what I have titled my spiritual shit show. And now that I am coming out on the other side, it just feels so important to be able to hold an anchored space for other people, because many times when we're going through huge life transitions, it can feel lonely, it can feel disorienting, it can feel like you don't have the space to share what it is vulnerably with friends, that you really can only talk to your therapist about it, which is great, fine. But when we don't share our stories or are vulnerable with what it is that we're going through, it makes us all kind of feel alone in what we're going through, which is really just life, you know? So I think sometimes we feel the pressure to have it all together, or to look a certain way, or to be branded a certain way, or our vulnerability is weakness, or it's pitiful, or it's too much for other people. And yeah, I just want to be able to add a breath for you, so that no matter what you are dancing with in your life right now, that you know that this is life, and there are tools that can help anchor you into what is happening, why it's happening, and how to really strengthen your own energetic field, strengthen your heart, your heart, your consciousness, all of it. So anyway, just thank you so much for being here. When I get the weekly download numbers, I'm just always so full of gratitude. And if this podcast can just open up a door for deeper awareness or thought or an aha moment for someone, then yeah, me sitting in my office by myself, talking into a microphone and sharing my story, then it makes it all feel worth it for sure. So thank you so much for being here. And with that being said, I do want to share in my one-on-one sessions that I do with people, I'm always so excited about it because I know I am learning so much in the process too, that there is typically a collective theme that is happening. And many, I work really just with women, not opposed to working with anybody else, but my clientele recently has really just been women. And I think that's partly because that's where I'm at right now in my own life is, remembering who I am as a woman. What does the divine feminine look like? Where have I lost myself in my life? I had a dear friend tell me that I'm not letting go of my past. I'm just letting go of the lies that I believed about myself that were drilled into me from my past. So collectively, many of clients are going through great shifts in their life. And when I channel for them, the guides are always celebrating like, yes, we are so happy that this is happening because you are seeing your strength. You are seeing the possibilities. You are actually, all of this stuff had to burn down to the ground so you can be on the path that you chose to be on. Like, you're free. And I will say, when I say that, I'm like, I wish I had that knowledge when I was in my shit show that I am free, because part of my story is it's almost like when things broke in my life, it was such a tremor. The only way I can describe it is, it was like life threw me a life vest or a float, and I stayed there. As soon as I didn't have my business anymore, and it was gone, just gone. It was just like, okay, now I have to create something. Now I have to do something. What is my identity? I need to do this. And then that energy transpired into, okay, if I do this and this and this, then this is going to happen. And then I'm going to be happy. And then I'm going to do this and this and this. And then that's going to happen. And then I'm going to be somebody again. And the universe, which I hear and see now in my life, was like, oh my gosh, Julie, you missed out on all of the gifts that were being brought to you in the space. Like the space was cleared and you were so desperate to just bring all of that old stuff that you really didn't want in the first place, but you were desperate and you wanted to hang on to it. You were only able to experience like the real gifts at a minimum. And now that I have that realization, I'm really embracing the opportunity to step more into empowered action, empowered confidence, empowered shares, empowered truths, and damn it, to really love my life, period. Love every single thing, because I can see how much time and energy was wasted on trying to be somebody again, trying to have an identity again, trying to, cover up what a mess my life was at the time and so confusing, and how depressed I was, and how, like, all the things. So anyway, this is my share for those who are going through really incredible transitions, that I know what a fucking shit show it is. I know how disorienting and hard it is. And sometimes it can be so hard you cannot see a way out of it sometimes. And I am here to tell you again, welcome to the shit show. And it's just like a good cleanse. When you do a cleanse, it never feels good. It never feels good. And I want you to trust that really incredible gifts and opportunities and truths and your ability to really step into your wisdom is really coming online. And if you need a tip, I would say every day, write down the things that you were able to love that day. I was able to love the coming of spring, or I love, like for me, I'll just share my story. This morning, I was so in love with being able to see my daughter, sleeping, and, that I got to wake her up for school, or we played video games. I'm trying to do more things with my daughter. And so I asked her to play a video game with me, which I do not play video games. And it was so sweet and tender because she leaned over to me in between levels. We were playing Mario Kart. And she said, "Mom, just so you know, these are the types of memories that I'm going to remember." And I don't know, it just rang so true for me that for all of this time in my dark night of the soul, or my spiritual shit show, I was searching to reclaim these big ideas, this big egoic identity, this feeling of being worthy. And I'll say in my transition, I hated when people said, "So what do you do?" I would always stumble on that word because I was like, nothing, trying to figure it out. And now I feel so grateful. I feel so grateful for the opportunity to not only find myself again, but to reclaim these parts that I let go of because of pain, or negative belief systems, or a really deeply grooved story that was ingrained in me by, in childhood, and being in narcissistic relationships, of, the gaslighting effect that really played a number on my psyche. But I get to reclaim all of that, and I get to drop into the center of my own truth and wisdom and reclaim my life. Like every day I'm like, God, exactly what I'm doing today is exactly what 10 years ago I wished my life was. And here I am, wasting all of my time and energy trying to build something again. And I am missing the opportunity of being here now, and really allowing myself to swim in the magic of my day, and realizing again that my life that I have now is exactly what I wished for 10 years ago. But because it just was just like, okay, you ask, you receive, here's your new life, go. And everything got stripped away so quickly. I was hanging on to the life vest, really just feeling like I had to keep my head above water, not realizing that all I needed to do was plant my feet on the ground and walk away. So anyway, that's my podcast share today. The other podcasts will be a little bit more structured, I promise. But I don't know. I'm really also just finding how being able to be in spaces where I can listen to other people and what they're going through, it definitely does unlock something inside of me as well. So thank you for this space to share. And hopefully in my sharing, you're gaining little nuggets of truth that are the most authentic to you, or what you need to hear in this moment. Like, wow, I said earlier, I was going to give you a tip. Write down all the things that you love during the day. And this ability to, I think the love and the gratitude is different. And I'm going to do a podcast next on love, gratitude, but appreciation. But, I love that, my body is still like working for me. And I love, that I have the opportunity to level up, meaning getting a little older. I've just been saying that it's a new level. So I'm on life level 46 right now. And that feels way more empowering and freeing and exciting than saying I'm 46 years old. So I'm saying it's a new life level. So I'm excited to be in this new life level. And in this new life level, it's being able to reclaim my truth, my life, and this really sit back into this ability to really, really create my life the way I want it and be okay with that. I had a conversation today with my husband and we were talking about, our dream house. And it dawned on me, I was like, I am in my dream house. I just want a different house so I look better to other people. That is so dumb. I don't want a big house. It's more shit to clean and more bills to pay. Like, our house is perfect. So it's just this ability to be like claiming your life without the ideas, thoughts, or like flex that sometimes you need in life that really just feed the ego, which is great sometimes. But I don't know. I think it takes a lot of courage to live a really authentic life. And ultimately, I think this is the goal. This is what we're doing. Is how can we continue to come back to ourselves, come back to our truth, come back to what's important to us, come back to our values, come back to our love, come back to, what it is that lights us up inside, and do more of that. So if you hear anything in this podcast, it's that all of the shit, the spiritual shit show, is really just leading you back to your ability to claim and live and create and be and experience a really just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful life. And that feels like a good place to end. So anyway, sending you so much love. Thank you for being here. And yeah, till next time.